On my wedding day, my sister threw her drink in my face and screamed, "You don't deserve any of this." My mom pulled her close. "She's hurting, ignore it." I did. That night I did one quiet action. By morning my phone lit up with 42 missed calls, because they just learned. I'll never forget the feeling of that wine hitting my face. The cold, the shock, but mostly the rage. She wanted to ruin it. She planned to ruin it. There's no other explanation. Who does that to their own sister on her wedding day? She waited for the perfect moment. I know it now. Not when we were getting ready in the morning. Not at the ceremony. No, she waited until I was smiling the widest, dancing with my husband for the first time as his wife, surrounded by people who loved us. She waited until the cameras were pointed at me, until the lights were glowing just right, until I was so happy I forgot for a moment that she hated me. That's when she stepped out from the crowd, drink in hand, and threw it straight at me. It hit my face, chest, and the front of my dress. Red wine. The kind that stains forever. And over the stunned gasps and clinking glass and sudden silence, her voice rang out across the dance floor. "You don't deserve any of this." I stood there, soaked in my ruined dress. And all I could think was, she meant to do it. This wasn't some drunken mistake. This was planned. Like she'd been waiting for her cue. Like she couldn't stand watching me have something she didn't. I looked at her, really looked, and it hit me how much she enjoyed it. She was proud of herself. Her lipstick was smudged, her eyes a little glassy, but her face said everything. This was her victory. In her twisted mind, she had won something. My mom rushed to her. Didn't look at me. Didn't ask if I was okay. Just grabbed my sister, wrapped her up like she was the one who'd just been attacked, and said loud enough for half the room to hear, "He's hurting, ignore it." Like that made it better. Like that made the wine disappear. Like I hadn't just spent a year planning a wedding she destroyed in under 30 seconds. Let me be clear. This didn't come out of nowhere. She's been jealous of me for years, but she masks it in fake bohemian nonsense. Always going on about finding herself, chasing freedom, being too spiritual for real work. But what she actually does is party in Brooklyn, live off my money, and whine about how the world doesn't understand her art. I've been paying her rent, her groceries, sending her money every month like an idiot, believing she was building something real. Meanwhile, I've been working nonstop. I built a business. I bought my own place. I did the work she refused to do, and for that she hates me. I didn't say a word to her. I couldn't. I turned and walked away into the bathroom with my husband right behind me. He didn't say anything at first. Just grabbed paper towels and helped me blot the wine out of the dress, piece by piece. He kissed my forehead and told me I still looked amazing. That no one could ruin what we had. That we weren't going to let her win. When we came back out, it was chaos. His family, people who had known me for maybe a year, were in my dad's face. His aunt was practically yelling, demanding to know why they allowed her to behave like that. My husband's cousin was holding my sister back, trying to calm her down as she kept shouting. My mom was still clutching her like a wounded animal. My dad was trying to defend her, repeating the same thing over and over. "He's just emotional. She didn't mean it. You don't understand how hard it's been for her." I watched them all from across the room and realized something I hadn't allowed myself to admit before. They'll always choose her. No matter how much I give. No matter what she does. My parents will always protect her because she's fragile, broken, chaotic. And I'm not. I'm strong, so I don't need protection. I get silence instead. But that night I wasn't going to be silent. "Get out." That's all I said. And the room went dead quiet again. My dad tried to argue. My mom looked like I'd slapped her. But I didn't care. They had to leave. Her especially. And they did. Someone from the venue escorted them out. I didn't look back. I don't even remember the next half hour. I just remember dancing again with my husband, with his mom, with my college friends. Like I was still having a wedding, not a disaster. But the rage didn't leave. I smiled. Fake people. I posed for photos. But inside I was done. Not just with her, with all of them. And when the party ended, after we were back in the hotel room and my husband was asleep, I took my phone and did one thing. Quiet, simple, final. I didn't tell anyone what I did. Not even him. But the next morning I woke up to 42 missed calls. They knew. The calls started early, 6 in the morning. At first I thought it was a mistake. Then I saw the names. Mom. Dad. Mom again. Then her. No voicemails, just missed calls. 14 from my sister alone. 42 total by the time I dragged myself out of bed. They'd figured it out. The night before, while everyone was sleeping off cake and champagne, I sat in bed beside my husband, still in my makeup, still in my wedding earrings, and opened my laptop. Took 10 minutes to shut the whole thing down. I removed my name from my sister's lease. I canceled every payment to my parents' utilities and rent. I called my lawyer and instructed him to freeze the joint account. I wiped my hands clean of them. They had spent years treating me like a backup plan. And on the one day they should have stood beside me, they reminded me exactly where I stood. So I reminded them where they stood without me. By noon, the text messages started rolling in. From my mom. "Sweetheart, something's wrong with the bank account. Rent bounced." Then, "Is this because of what happened at the wedding? Your sister's going through a lot. Please don't do anything rash." Rash? I stared at that word for a long time. That's what she thought this was. A rash decision. Not the buildup of years of favoritism, guilt-tripping, and financial dependency. Not the scream across the reception hall or the wine staining the dress I'd picked out with so much care. No, that was just a little emotional moment. But me cutting them off? That was too far. I didn't reply. I turned off notifications and spent the day out with my husband. We wandered down to the river, grabbed takeout from the corner Thai place, and ate in the park like we used to when we were dating. I didn't want to talk about the wedding. Or them. Not yet. By the next day, the tone of the messages shifted. No more soft concern, now it was guilt and blame. My dad sent a 4-paragraph text about how family sticks together no matter what. He said I was overreacting. That my sister was humiliated and needed support now more than ever. That I should be the bigger person. Then my sister texted me. No apology. No ownership. Just this. "So you're actually serious about cutting us off?" It was the kind of message you send when you think someone's bluffing. When you still believe they'll cave. I didn't reply. A few days later, I came home from a morning walk to find them standing outside our apartment building. They'd found our new address. My heart dropped into my stomach. I wasn't afraid, not exactly. But I felt exposed. Like they'd broken through a boundary I wasn't ready to defend out loud. My husband opened the door. He kept it half closed behind him, didn't invite them in right away. I watched from the hallway. He told them one thing. "You're not going to bring drama into this house." Eventually, he let them in, but only after they promised they were there to talk, not to argue. When I stepped into the living room, it was like stepping onto a stage I didn't audition for. My mom looked tearful. My dad tense. My sister sat slouched on the edge of the couch like this was all beneath her. She started in with that false sweetness she uses when she wants something. Said she made a mistake, but that I'd embarrassed her by making it such a big deal. That she was under pressure, that the wedding made her feel like a failure. That I'd abandoned her and she had snapped. Her voice was fake calm, like she was explaining away a parking ticket. My mom jumped in, asking me to consider that this wasn't who she really is. My dad said we needed to heal and forgive. Said the money thing was unnecessary and vindictive. My sister didn't say sorry, not once. Just stared at me, arms crossed. Kept my face still. And then I walked over and slapped her. No warning. No yelling. Just one clean, hard slap. He stared at me, stunned. My mom gasped. My dad started to say something but thought better of it. "You ruined my wedding. You humiliated me. You embarrassed our whole family. And now you're here pretending I went too far?" They didn't know what to do with that. For once, no one defended her. They left not long after. Quiet this time. That's when the real unraveling began. They left our apartment without another word. No dramatic exit, no shouting, not even a final glance. My mom looked like she wanted to say something but didn't. My dad held the door open for my sister, and for once she didn't look smug, she looked rattled. Like something had shifted and she didn't know how to reset it. For the first time in years I felt peace. Not joy. Not triumph. Just quiet. But that quiet didn't last long. The fallout came fast. By the end of the week I got a text from a number I didn't recognize. My sister's roommate in New York. She said my sister had moved out. Just packed her stuff and left. She didn't say where she was going, but I knew. There was only one place left for her. Back home. The same house where she spent her high school years trashing our parents' rules and blaming me for every consequence she ever faced. Back under their roof, probably already acting like she was the victim in all of this. I pictured her sitting at our old kitchen table telling our mom that I'd lost my mind. That the wedding wasn't even that serious. That I hit her for nothing. That I was selfish for cutting them off. But this time there were no wires left connecting us. No bills. No leases. No handouts. She was officially on her own. And so were they. The calls slowed down after that. Then they stopped altogether. About a week after the slap, my lawyer called to confirm the last joint account had been closed. My dad had tried to log in multiple times and then tried to transfer funds, which triggered an alert. The account was frozen before he could move a dime. Then the messages started up again. From my mom. "We didn't know you were serious. Please, just a little help until we figure things out." From my dad. "Your sister's not well. She's lost. Don't turn your back on her now." From my sister. One sentence, no punctuation. "I hope it was worth it." I didn't reply. I wasn't angry anymore. I was just finished. All my life I had been the dependable one. The quiet one. The one who made things work. I paid the bills. I kept the peace. I let them shame me in subtle ways because I didn't want to cause a scene. But the wedding was the scene. And it told me everything I needed to know. My husband, bless him, never pressured me to talk about any of it. He just made dinner, held me close, helped me box up the wedding photos that had red wine in the corners. We sent the dress off to a specialist. It'll probably never be wearable again. But that's not why I kept it. I kept it because every stain on it is proof that I finally said no. Meanwhile, back at their house, things weren't going so smoothly. My sister's credit card, the one I used to pay off in full every month, got declined at a salon. She posted about it on Instagram, passive-aggressively ranting about people turning their backs on family for money. My dad had to sell one of his 2 cars. My mom quietly listed some of her designer bags on Facebook Marketplace. Word got around to my cousin Leah, who called me and asked what happened. I told her the truth. She said, "Good for you. We've all been waiting for someone to finally say it." That's when I realized, everyone knew. They'd all just stayed out of it. Till now. What started at my wedding wasn't just a rupture. It was a spotlight. And now they couldn't hide. They walked out of our apartment without a word. No tantrum, no defense, no last-minute guilt trip. My dad's jaw was locked, my mom wouldn't look at me, and my sister, for the first time in her life, looked unsure of herself. She clutched her purse like a child, holding on to the only thing she had left, and I stood in the doorway long after they were gone, listening to their steps fade down the hall. The silence afterward didn't feel good. Felt strange. Like standing outside after a storm and realizing the house is still standing, but something's shifted deep in the foundation. I waited for the guilt to come. It never did. The next day I got a call from an unknown number. I ignored it. Then came a text. "Hi, this is Bree. I live with your sister. Just letting you know she left today. She's not coming back. Took all her stuff and said she's moving home." Of course she was. There was nowhere else for her to go. Without me, the New York fantasy was over. No more rent paid on time. No more money for takeout and endless nights at overpriced bars. No more pretending she was building some artistic, undefined career, while treating life like a weekend that never ended. Back home meant back to the same house she always called a cage. The one she swore she'd never return to. The one she said I had escaped because I was lucky. It took her exactly 5 days to come crawling back. Meanwhile, I was unspooling everything. I called my lawyer to make sure my name was taken off anything connected to my parents. The health insurance I added my mom to temporarily? Gone. The emergency card on my dad's account? Cancelled. The final joint bank account? Frozen before they could get their hands on the leftover funds. Apparently, my dad had tried to move some of the money before it processed. Triggered a fraud flag. That's when the second wave of calls started. My mom again, this time with less concern and more desperation. "This is a misunderstanding. We didn't think you'd go this far. Can't we just talk?" Then my dad. "You're punishing the whole family because of one mistake. You know how hard things are right now." I didn't reply. Not once. Not to a single text, missed call, or email. I left them all unread, notifications off. I wasn't playing the game anymore. Then my sister messaged me. No greeting, no apology, no responsibility. I hope it was worth it. Like I had lost something. Like she hadn't drenched my dress and screamed in my face in front of everyone I love. I didn't answer. A few days later, word started to spread. My cousin Leah called me just to check in. She had heard about the wedding but not the full story. I told her everything. I didn't sugarcoat it. Not this time. She was quiet for a second. Then she said, "Honestly, good. It's about time someone in this family did what you did. We've all seen how they treat her like a fragile little pet and expect the rest of us to keep cleaning up the mess." That conversation stuck with me. It was the first time I realized I wasn't the only one who noticed. Just the only one who finally drew the line. Then the unraveling really began. My sister's credit card, the one I used to pay off every month, got declined trying to pay for a nail appointment. She posted a dramatic story on Instagram the same day. Some cryptic quote about betrayal and watching people reveal their true colors. My mom listed a pair of Louis Vuitton shoes on Facebook Marketplace. Then a handbag. Then another. My dad quietly started selling off things from the garage. A friend of his who still follows my husband on social media messaged him asking if we were doing okay, and said my parents were going through a rough time. Rough time? They had a rough time the second they let my sister destroy the biggest day of my life, then expected me to keep footing the bill like nothing happened. Like my dignity had a price tag and they just hadn't reached it yet. But this time I wasn't paying. And behind their embarrassment, behind the financial scramble, there was something else. Fear. They weren't just losing money. They were losing control. I had been their safety net for so long that they'd forgotten I could walk away. They had assumed I never would. And now they were left with each other. I thought I was done hearing from them. I expected another round of desperate texts, maybe an email from my mother disguised as a guilt trip, or another insult from my sister pretending to be a question. I was ready for all of that. But not the letter. It arrived a week after I kicked them out of our apartment. Real envelope. Real postage. My name in the middle, not a nickname, not Sweetie. Just Sophia. I almost threw it away unopened. I wasn't in the mood for more apologies that weren't really apologies. But something about the handwriting stopped me. It wasn't my mom's. It was my dad's. Inside was a single page handwritten like he didn't even want to type it. The first line said, "Your mother doesn't know I'm writing this." That alone kept me reading. He didn't beg. He didn't sugarcoat. He didn't even try to talk me out of what I'd done. Instead, he admitted something I never thought he would. He said he let it happen. That he'd watched my sister spiral for years, watched my mom make excuses for her, and watched me carry more than I should have. That he thought if he stayed neutral long enough, things would even out. But they never did. Then came the line that hit the hardest. "He scares your mother, you know. And I think she scares me too. Not in the way you might think. It's not her yelling. It's that she believes every word she says, no matter how twisted. That's what's terrifying." It was the first time he'd ever acknowledged what I'd always known. That my sister didn't just manipulate people. She rewrote reality. And our parents let her. He didn't ask for money. He didn't ask for anything. He just said he was sorry for what he allowed. That he understood if I never spoke to any of them again. That maybe, finally, I was doing what they should have done a long time ago. I reread that letter 3 times before folding it back into the envelope and sliding it into the back of a drawer. The same day, my sister posted a reel on Instagram. It was her walking through our old neighborhood like some kind of martyr, slow-motion footage with moody background music and a dramatic caption. "Starting over. Betrayal is loud. Silence is stronger." She had a fan club in the comments, of course. A few old high school friends who still thought she was the tortured artist, misunderstood and beautiful in her sadness. But even some of them seemed unsure. I got a message that night from one of her old roommates in New York. "Hey, not sure what's going on, but just wanted to say I'm sorry for what happened at your wedding." I had no idea she was like that. Then another from a girl she used to party with. "So, is she okay?" Because she posted that she's living in her parents' basement and talking to no one. I hadn't said a word to anyone about what happened, and somehow the truth was still leaking out. Then came the phone call that changed everything. It was Mrs. Jenkins, our old neighbor from the street I grew up on. She still sees everything, still watches from her porch like she's got the local news on speed dial. She said my mom wasn't at the house anymore. She'd moved in with her sister 2 towns over. "What happened?" I asked before I could stop myself. She lowered her voice like it made any difference over the phone. She couldn't take it anymore. Said the girl wouldn't stop screaming. Said she threw a vase at your dad last week. I just sat there. My sister, the one they always protected, always defended, always enabled, was now pushing them to the edge. They were finally seeing what I had known for years. The tantrums weren't just directed at me. I had just been the easiest target. And now that I wasn't there to catch the fallout, they were feeling it full force. But it didn't stop there. The next day I got a message from Tara, her oldest friend, the one who had stood by her through every apartment move and dramatic breakup. It said, "She's not okay. I know it's not your problem, but she's getting worse. Might be time someone stepped in." She added nothing else. Didn't even ask me to respond. Just left it hanging. I didn't reply. I didn't even know what I would say. What could I say? I'd spent years holding everything together. Paying the bills. Keeping the peace. Being the adult so everyone else could act like children. And when I finally stepped back, everything crumbled. But here's the part one never expected. I didn't feel good about it. I didn't feel satisfied. Or smug. Or vindicated. I felt hollow. Not because I missed them. But because this wasn't revenge. It was just reality. And reality is quieter than people think. It's been 2 months since the wedding. Since the whine, the scream, the slap, and the silence that followed. 2 months since I stopped pretending things were fine just to keep the peace. 2 months since I pulled the last thread and let everything unravel. And somehow I'm still here. Not broken. Not bitter. Just different. I didn't call them after that night. I didn't reach out to thank them for the apology or to check in or to offer forgiveness. I let things sit. I needed space. Real space. The kind no one fills with guilt or begging or just checking in messages. For the first time in my life, I gave myself permission to not fix it. My husband and I settled into newlywed life in a quieter way than we imagined. No honeymoon right after, we postponed it. Not because of the drama, but because we both needed time to just be. To live without tension, without expectations, without someone else's chaos bleeding into our home. My parents didn't push. My mom sent a card. No note inside, just a pressed flower and a printed photo from the wedding. It was one of the later shots after everything had gone down. The lace on my dress still wet near the waist, but I was smiling. My husband was looking at me like the whole world could burn and he'd still only see me. He kept the card. I didn't answer, but I kept it. My dad texted once. "We're proud of you. Whatever you need, we're here." I didn't respond, but it didn't feel like pressure. It felt like surrender. And my sister? She disappeared for a while. No social media. No calls. Not a word. Until last week. I was home alone when the knock came. I wasn't expecting anyone, and when I opened the door and saw her, I froze. She looked human. Not put together, not defiant, not like someone trying to stage a comeback. Just tired. Quiet. She was holding a to-go coffee in a small white box. She said, "I'm not here to make you feel anything. I just want to give you this." I didn't move at first. Then I stepped aside. She didn't comment on the apartment. Didn't ask about our lives. She just walked in and sat down on the edge of the couch, careful like she wasn't sure she belonged on furniture anymore. She handed me the box. Inside was a piece of my wedding dress, clean, white, pressed flat and carefully framed in glass. It was the bottom edge, near the hem, one of the few spots that hadn't been soaked in wine. Just delicate lace and a tiny embroidery I had forgotten about. She said, "I wanted you to have the part that didn't get ruined." I stared at it for a long time. Not because I was emotional, because I was trying to understand how long it must have taken her to do it. She would have had to take it somewhere, explain what it was, wait, pay for it, bring it back. That's when I realized she hadn't just thrown a gift at me to ease her guilt. She tried. She didn't ask to talk. Didn't rehash the past. He just sat there, sipped her coffee, and after a few minutes she said something I wasn't expecting. "I didn't expect you to let me in. I wouldn't have let me in. I still don't know why I ruined your day. I mean, I know, but I don't." It was like something inside me snapped and I wanted to be seen, even if it meant being hated. She looked down. "I was always scared of becoming invisible next to you. And then I realized I already was. You didn't do anything wrong. You just stopped waiting for me to catch up." I didn't say anything. I didn't know what to say. But I didn't ask her to leave either. She stayed a little longer. We sat in silence. Then she stood up, nodded once, and left without asking for anything in return. That night, I placed the framed lace in our bedroom, not to remember the damage, but to remember the moment something shifted. Not fixed, just shifted. I'm still not sure what comes next. We're not hugging it out. We're not a healed family. We're not pretending like everything's fine. But we're not pretending at all anymore. And somehow that's enough. I'll never get back the wedding I dreamed of. The dress will never be the same. The memory will always have a bruise. But I gained something else that day. The clarity to finally let go of the roles I'd been forced to play for years. Caretaker. Peacekeeper. Wallet. Fiddle. Now I get to just be me. And for once that's more than enough.